The King and Queen of Thailand hold a meeting in Bangkok. Reigning monarchs address the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York. And Queen Mary of Denmark attends a research evening at the National Museum in Copenhagen. All this and much more coming up next on your Royal Daily News. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you all are having a wonderful day today. My name is Alexandra, and welcome to your Royal Daily News for Wednesday, September 24th, 2025. In Copenhagen, Her Majesty, Queen Mary of Denmark, attended the annual research evening, where researchers presented their latest works to foundations, partners, and invited guests at the National Museum. This is the first time the Queen has attended the event. During the event, 4 lectures were presented. Topics included, quote, Europe's roots. When did we see ourselves as Europeans? End quote. The origins of democracy. The story of the blue glass beads that reached Denmark from Mesopotamia and Egypt over 3,000 years ago. And the Danish colonization project in Greenland in the 18th century. After the lectures, the Queen and guests attended a reception in the museum's foyer, where curators showcased special objects from the museum's collections, including a Viking sword and rare gold coins. The National Museum is home to more than 50 researchers, covering subjects from the Viking Age and military history to fashion and archaeology. This morning, Her Royal Highness, Princess Benedikte of Denmark, held an audience with students from Greenland participating in an exchange program between the cities of Gentofte and Tasiilaq at Christian VIII's palace at Amalienborg. In Den Bosch, His Majesty, King Willem-Alexander of the Netherlands, presided over the opening of the 16th edition of the Week Against Loneliness. The Week Against Loneliness, organized by One Against Loneliness Action Program, an initiative of the Ministry of Health, Welfare, and Sport, is a networking conference that brings together over 800 professionals, policymakers, volunteers, organizations, and companies committed to combating loneliness in the Netherlands. In Brussels, His Majesty, King Felipe of the Belgians, received letters of credence for newly appointed ambassadors to the Kingdom of Belgium at the Palais Royal de Bruxelles. The newly appointed ambassadors are from the Republic of Iceland, the Federal Republic of Brazil, Jamaica, and the Republic of Albania. This morning, His Majesty, King Felipe VI of Spain, addressed a general debate at the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly at the UN headquarters. In his 20-minute address, the King said, quote, Believing in the United Nations means firmly believing in the universality of the principles and values enshrined in its charter, and in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. It means avoiding the temptation to modulate them with particularism, relativism, and expectations, because the dignity of a human person is non-negotiable. End quote. The King went on to condemn the war in Gaza and urged that the violence be brought to an end, while recognizing Israel's right to defend itself within the limits of international humanitarian law. The King reaffirmed Spain's support for a 2-state solution, with a viable Palestinian state living peacefully alongside Israel. He also warned against weakening international norms, emphasizing that peace, democracy, and human rights cannot be compromised. The King also spoke about the importance of responsible migration policies, the defense of pluralism and inclusion, and Spain's role in global diplomacy. Following an address from the President of Ukraine, His Serene Highness, Prince Albert II of Monaco, spoke before the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly. In his address, the Sovereign Prince spoke about the creation of the United Nations 80 years ago as a decisive moment in international relations. He noted that the organization's role in advancing peace, international law, human rights, and environmental protection. The Sovereign Prince reaffirmed the Principality of Monaco's condemnation of the war in Ukraine and expressed hope for a, quote, just and lasting peace, end quote. The Sovereign Prince also stressed the need for collective action to, quote, tackle today's security and climate changes, end quote, pointing to the recent United Nations Ocean Conference in Nice and Monaco's efforts to mobilize financing for the blue economy. On the sidelines of the 80th session of the UNGA on Tuesday, the Sovereign Prince met with the Republic of Singapore's Minister of Foreign Affairs to formally establish diplomatic relations between the Principality of Monaco and the Republic of Singapore. The ceremony was held at the Permanent Mission of Singapore to the United Nations. According to the Palais Français, this step consolidates an already active cooperation between the two countries, particularly within multilateral organizations. Despite their small size, the Principality of Monaco and the Republic of Singapore emphasized that, quote, constructive diplomacy allows them to play an important role in global governance, end quote. Thereafter, the Sovereign Prince held a meeting with the President of Kazakhstan. During the meeting, the President formally invited the Sovereign Prince for an official visit in 2026. On Tuesday, His Serene Highness, Hereditary Prince Alois of Liechtenstein, held a meeting with the President of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky. According to a press release, during the meeting, the discussions covered a variety of topics, including the Principality of Liechtenstein's continuation of humanitarian assistance to Ukraine. This morning, Her Majesty, Queen Rania of Jordan, participated in the Call to Action for Palestinian Children high-level ministerial meeting at the United Nations headquarters. Launched in 2024 and co-hosted by Jordan, Belgium, and the European Union, the Call to Action for Palestinian Children aims to raise awareness about the suffering of Palestinian children and increase humanitarian support for them. Meanwhile, Her Majesty, Queen Maxima of the Netherlands, in her capacity as the United Nations Secretary-General's Special Advocate for Financial Health, co-hosted a roundtable discussion with software and IT company Globant. The theme of the discussion was on, quote, FinTech's contribution to financial health, end quote. On Tuesday, Her Majesty, Queen Mathilde of the Belgians, in her capacity as an advocate for the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, participated in a meeting of the International Coalition for the Return of Ukrainian Children. In Bangkok, Their Majesties, King Rama X and Queen Sathata of Thailand, held an audience with the new Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Thailand and his cabinet at Dusit Palace. And there you have it. Thank you all so much for joining me this afternoon. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. I will be back tomorrow on Thursday, September 25th, with all the latest royal news and events. Until then, I sincerely wish each and every one of you, your family, your friends, and of course your pets, a wonderful afternoon. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Comment below if you'd like, and click on the notification bell so you won't miss a new episode. Have a wonderful afternoon, everyone, and I will see you all tomorrow. Take care and God bless.